We are back. Welcome to Google Ads Decoded, practical talk to help you navigate change, be in the know, and ultimately drive more value from Google Ads. I'm Ginny Marvin, your host, Google Ads Liaison, and I'm thrilled to share that this podcast is officially a go. Thanks to your early enthusiasm, we'll be bringing more Google Ads Decoded to you in 2026. So if you missed our first 3 episodes, be sure to check them out on the Google Ads YouTube channel. We'll also have a dedicated spot there soon, and episodes will also be available wherever you get your podcasts. And yes, that means audio. We heard you. Today, we have something a little bit different for our final episode of 2025. Let's be honest, the pace of launches was dizzying, even more so than usual, it seemed. And we've got a helpful year-end recap linked in the show notes. So if you haven't seen that yet, be sure to check that out. With all of these launches, I really wanted to hear what stood out this year to the people who've been working on them. So I checked in with several product experts working on everything from bidding and search to creative and analytics and more to hear what their favorite launch of the year was and their top tips for success in 2026. Let's hear what they had to say. Hi, Natalie. Thanks so much for joining. I know you've been involved in PMAX from early days, certainly gone through a lot of iteration this year in development. What is your favorite Google Ads launch of 2025?
My absolute favorite launch is obviously PMAX channel reporting. It's been really great to hear feedback from advertisers during the pilot stage and ultimately see how that feedback was able to translate into the final product that was launched. Kind of my 2 runner-ups, which I'll encompass in more reporting as my overall answer, is asset reporting and search term reporting. And I see these as 2 really great complements to PMAX channel reporting. So for asset reporting, it's been great to see advertisers use that as a double click into certain channels they may be seeing in their channel report, such as YouTube. They can go into their asset report and see, hey, do they not have enough videos, or do they don't have high enough quality videos to take full advantage of YouTube? For search term report, it's been great to see how advertisers have embraced that on Performance Max as they have in their search and shopping campaigns, and they can use it as a feedback loop to enlist campaign level negative keywords and brand exclusions to make sure that they're serving on the right inventory.
Hi, Walter. You have had a hand in a lot of launches in the time that you've been working at Google Ads. So looking back on 2025, what is your favorite standout launch of this past year?
AI Max for search. We've always been talking about using AI for the more than a decade I've been working in search ads. And oftentimes it's been well, but I cannot use it because I need to have an ad group that is just for one brand or just for one geo. We build controls for, turning any automation on or off, even though it all works best together. Professionals have reasons to turn things on or off at times. There's a lot of transparency. We build a report that crosses the search term, the ad creative, the landing page. We thought of experimentation from day one. We have this one-click experiments. Within everything that we built for AI Max, I think one of the things I'm most excited about is the text guidelines, where marketers can just tell us the guidelines that they need the automation to follow. We haven't stopped building more functionalities so that professionals can leverage the power of AI while keeping the controls and transparency they need.
Hi, Eleanor. I know things have been busy on the measurement front.
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite launch has got to be the Analytics Advisor. This is actually launching now through the end of the year. It's a chat interface that has all the context of your data in Google Analytics. You can use it to ask questions about your data, to drill down into your data, either with the traditional charts and graphs you're used to or without them. You've got all the same great data that you had before, but interpreting it isn't reliant on knowing data analysis really well. Anybody can access that. And I think that's just furthering our mission, but again, with that new tech.
Hi, Josh. I know you've worked on our Google Ads bidding products for a long time. What in 2025 was your favorite launch?
One hugely impactful one from this year has been the bidding exploration product. It was built to help advertisers using target ROAS find new performant queries that they previously weren't capturing. At its core, what it's doing is within all the possible matches that you might be available for with your campaign that are already dictated by your match types, we further explore within those groupings. We actually changed the backend algorithm using some more recently developed AI functionality to find matches for your campaigns that the bidding system previously wasn't serving on.
Hi, Sarah. Welcome back to Google Ads Decoded. We are recapping 2025.
I think there were more than 100 launches in demand gen in the first 6 months of this year alone. If I had to pick one, it would be personalization in ads. Our systems are now matching users with the apps, the products, the services that they are likely to be the most interested in. And we use this information about users' interests to find and show the most relevant ad to the user. So running demand gen with product feeds from the Google Merchant Center is the best way to take advantage of all the personalization work that landed this year.
Hi, Charles. In episode 3, you talked about evolving creative needs and considerations for advertisers in this AI era. So with all the developments in the creatives arena, what was your favorite Google Ads launch of 2025?
I'm going to say Asset Studio. Asset Studio is the new one-stop destination in Google Ads to access all of the creative generation capabilities. You can find text, image, video generation to enhance the variety of your assets and create new ones to test. So, for example, now you'll find Nano Banana Pro directly in Google Ads and Asset Studio. And that'll let you take multiple products, put them together in the same scene, or make small tweaks and adjustments to create it for testing.
Looking ahead, what are your top tips for marketers to win in 2026?
One thing that I'd encourage advertisers to do is double down on new customer acquisition. We've heard that it's working great for a lot of you all and that it's helping you find new customers on Google. But, we've received feedback that sometimes you're unsure if those new customers are truly incremental or if there's someone who would have purchased already. We teased it at GML back in May. We're going to start rolling out our new customer prospecting mode beta that allows you to not only reach customers who haven't purchased from you, but specifically those new customers who haven't searched for you or engaged with you across Google's properties and beyond. So you can really focus on those new prospective customers and driving incrementality for your business. You do want to make sure that you're setting a value that is in line with how much you value new customers. We have a few planned enhancements. First, a new column such that you can separate out your unadjusted conversions or value from your new customer boost to understand, the true value you're getting versus the adjusted value. We also hear that this, penny 1 cent hack sometimes is being used as a workaround to new versus existing customer segmentation. When you do set that 1 cent new customer value, you're kind of improperly telling bidding that you value new and existing customers the same, which may not be your goal. So we really want to make it easier for you to set that proper value. You can opt into the reporting itself, and then ideally use that as an input to eventually bid to it. And we have a planned roadmap upcoming with, better suggestions and guidance as to how you can best set that value according to your business goals.
What would you give as a tip for advertisers to win in 2026?
Measurement is the foundation for everything automation. So for the marketers, say, getting leads and only reporting when someone fills out a form, I would suggest let's really work on measurement. Let's make sure that you can tell the automation, say, who are the leads that at least made it past that first phone screen. The machine will work to get you more of what you tell it to bring you. So let's really get measurement in place.
Get going with your data foundations. Whether that's Google Tag Gateway, Web to App Connect, offline conversions import, the most important takeaway is to ensure your foundations are in place so that conversion data is being used to fuel better performance for your brand. And, if I had to give you a second tip, I would say partnership ads. We really feel like the connection between creators, brands, and viewers is where the magic is going to happen on YouTube in 2026.
Double down on asset variety. Customers are going all the way from, awareness to consideration to action. And so we see a lot of evidence that having a variety of creative, even within the same ad or campaign, can really drive some performance lift. And so I would recommend thinking about across your text, your image, and your video, how do you expand the variety and the depth of assets that are serving, even with the same message? So if you have a product shot or a product, consider maybe an image on a white background and a lifestyle image that may appeal to different audiences or in different situations, for example.
What are you most excited about, and what should advertisers be thinking about to set up for success in 2026?
There's pilots spinning up for both the bidding and budgeting areas, and one of those is flighted budgets to make it easier to run campaigns for short periods of time for sales and promotions and other similar situations. That's scaling up now through the holidays. But more generally, for 2026, the number one thing would be to focus on data quality. And so correctly labeling your conversion categories, ensuring your conversion reporting pipelines are reliable and they alert when they fail, and that your targets are accurate. That'll help you get the most of the new bidding AI that's currently always being put into the system on the back end, and be eligible for all of our new cutting edge pilots coming next year.
I know that some people are a little skeptical about AI, or they're a little afraid to use it. To me, it feels very much like the moment, where programmatic media took off, or where internet usage took off. It's like a real sort of shift in how we do work. And so what I would encourage everyone to do is, not just with your marketing data necessarily, but anywhere in your workflow, look at how you can use AI to help you make faster, higher quality decisions, and really use that information to drive your business forward. I think that would be my number one tip.
I hope you found it as insightful as I did to hear directly from product leaders, not just about what launched this year, but about why those specific updates stood out to them. 3 themes really struck me across these conversations. First, that tools are evolving to give you more levers and better insights. So talking about AI Max for search, Walter Voulet highlighted text guidelines as well as other new controls to guide the automation. Eleanor Stribling noted how the chat interface in Analytics Advisor is making it easier for anyone on your team to get answers without needing to be a data analyst. And on Performance Max, Natalie Wertz highlighted the major strides we've made in transparency with channel performance reporting. The second theme that stood out was what I'd call the mechanics of growth. Josh Braverman broke down smart bidding exploration and why it's a more effective way to find new performant queries than simply lowering your ROAS targets. Natalie reminded us why setting real values for new customer acquisition is critical to properly feeding the bidding algorithms. And new metrics are now available to help you see the unadjusted value of your conversions. Finally, we heard how creative is becoming a performance lever. Really interesting to hear Sarah Hathramani discuss personalization in ads for demand gen and partnership ads with YouTube creators. It brings us to Charles Boyd on the launch of Asset Studio and Nano Banana Pro, why that model upgrade in the asset generation tools right in Google Ads is such a breakthrough for businesses and agencies to iterate and test fresh assets at scale, making this all just much easier for lead gen and sales objectives alike. Looking ahead, one specific tip surfaced repeatedly, and the guests did not coordinate their answers. And leaders from 3 different product areas all converged on the same key to success in 2026, data and measurement foundations. Walter told us that without a strong measurement foundation, optimization becomes a game of whack-a-mole. Josh said that the number one priority is data quality to ensure that you can actually utilize new AI launches. And Sarah echoed this loud and clear. Get going with data foundations to ensure that your conversion data is powering performance. It's a good reminder that while our AI tools are becoming more sophisticated, they're only as good as the information that you feed them. So if automation is the engine driving us into 2026, your data and inputs are the fuel. Happens to be serendipitous that our first episode of 2026 will be a deeper dive into data and measurement, so stay tuned for that. And we'll be resuming our community Q&A segment as well, so please send your questions in. You can find me on X, Threads, and Blue Sky at Ads Liaison, or Ginny Marvin on LinkedIn and Reddit. So thanks for listening. Thanks for all your feedback throughout the year. Be sure to check out the show notes for our end-of-year recap. And here's to a successful year ahead.